Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sunday service of Now Creations. I just want you to know what a joy it is just to be here with you, just to take this moment to be who we truly are, to feel that lovely spirit within each one of us, and may each one of us bring forth this spirit in richness today. I just have one announcement I'd like to make. Starting the weekend, the first weekend in September, the 4th and the 5th, we're going to be starting a weekend enrichment program. Every Friday and Saturday night, we're going to be meeting from 7 to 8:30 via Zoom. Simply going to our website, clicking on study groups, and then scrolling down to weekend enrichment. And it'll simply be kind of like an open forum from around 7 to 8, and then from 8 to 8:30, we'll be doing the workbook from A Course in Miracles. We feel that many people look for things to do on the weekend, and we'd like to offer spiritual enrichment as one of those possibilities. Please try to join us as you are able to do so. Let me begin by saying again what a great joy it is simply to greet you in this weekly teaching. A great part of that joy is to truly witness the growth of each one of us individually, but also learning to see us grow together. While each one of us has our own subjective path to follow, we are also participants in that larger universal purpose of bringing heaven to earth, of bringing awareness to the planet. And what a joy it is to participate with you in this growth. It is this larger universal path that I want to address in today's teaching, entitled Releasing the Third Dimension. I will begin by defining what we mean by the third dimension, add a little Aristotle, quote a beautiful passage from A Course in Miracles, and then talk about how to release the third dimension. Let's begin first of all with what we mean by the third dimension. Many people look at the third dimension as though it is made up of external objects, such as cars, trees, plants, your body, etc., a dimension of sizes and shapes. They see the third dimension as simply physical objects. What I would like to suggest to you is that the third dimension is not made up of physical objects, but rather the third dimension is really a state of consciousness of how you view physical objects, as well as how you view your thoughts and your emotions. The most important thing about the third dimension, it is made up of a state of consciousness that oftentimes reflects very rigid beliefs, very fixed beliefs, that allows the external world to determine your state of consciousness. Let me just say that again. The third dimension is a state of consciousness made up of very fixed and rigid beliefs that allow the external world to determine your state of consciousness. You can plainly see the difference from a third dimensional consciousness, which allows what is going on outside of you to determine your sense of self, from higher dimensions of consciousness like the fourth and the fifth, where you have greater freedom and greater awareness. In the fourth dimension of consciousness, you know that you are clearly free as to how you will interpret anything going on around you. What is happening outside of you does not automatically determine your sense of self. And in the fifth dimension of consciousness, you allow that connection to the God Spirit to give meaning to what is happening outside of you. For us to release the third dimension of consciousness, we have to remove two major emotions, doubt and fear. It is the distortions of doubt and fear that keep us trapped in this lower consciousness of the third dimension of life. With doubt, we are very unsure of who we are and what we are capable of. And with fear, we're just constantly worried about what might happen to us. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if there's not enough? Who will take care of me? You can clearly see that in the third dimension of consciousness, you are basing your reality on the changing things of the external world, or on the changing relationships of life. It is this changing nature of people and things that keep us trapped in lower third dimensional consciousness. You will never break this third dimension of lower consciousness as long as you look outside of yourself for fulfillment. It is the very act of looking outside of yourself for meaning that keeps you entrapped in doubt and fear, because the external circumstances of our lives are always changing. There is nothing stable out there. We certainly know this by now. So we need to find another basis on how we can look at life, not from the outside in, as the third dimension tries to keep entrapping us. Before, however, we do this, let's bring in just a little Aristotle. Of all of the things that Aristotle is famous for me, his work in ethics is his most important because it deals with human behavior. In fact, it was Aristotle who gave us the foundation in ethics, both as to its etymology and as to its function. First of all, etymologically, Aristotle gave us the root word. It comes from the Greek word ethos, E-T-H-O-S, which simply means one's mode, manner, or habit of acting. Let me repeat this. The word ethics means one's mode, manner, or habit of acting. It is what a person normally does. Note, it is what a person normally does. Then Aristotle goes on to define a habit as simply a repeated action, something that we do on a regular, normal basis. And then he says that what a person repeatedly does, their habits, become character states. So that character states, levels of consciousness, are habits that a person repeatedly performs. Now here's the really good news. Aristotle clearly teaches that habits, even though they are initially freely formed, can be freely changed. Let me repeat this. Habits are repeated actions that can be freely changed. I just want to say, with a little work. With a little work, we can change our habits. Now, two quick little asides. So many people in life say, well, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. What do you think Aristotle would say? Of course you can. Can you release old third-dimensional consciousnesses of doubt and fear? Aristotle's reply, of course you can. Again, might I add, with a little work. Now, the second aside. A gentleman and I were talking one day, and he was rather proudly boasting that he has very rigid and fixed beliefs, principles, he said. He proudly stated, "That's the way I am." I calmly responded to him, "That's the way you have become. It's not the way you really are. Your habits have given you a rigidity, a fixed belief that is who you think you are. You can change who you have become when you begin to understand who you truly are." May I say this again? You can change who you have become when you understand who you truly are. These comments had an impact upon the gentleman, as they do upon us, obviously, here today. Thus, Aristotle's teaching is quite clear. You can change your habits and your states of character, your ways of looking at things, with a little work. You can release the old third-dimensional rigidity, and in its place of fear and doubt, you can put something else. But again, with some work. Even though these old thoughts and emotions run very deeply. But when you are ready, you can change what you want in your life. So let's get to the solution. How do you release this old third-dimensional consciousness and rise to what you are capable of being as a Christed being of light and love in a physical body? A very beautiful and clear solution is given to us by Jesus in that splendid work, A Course in Miracles. On page 86, in the section entitled Time and Eternity, Jesus states, so beautiful, "The mind that was in me is in you. For God creates with perfect fairness." Let me say it again. The mind, the presence, the spirit that was in me is in you. The mind that was in Jesus is the mind in you. It's the presence in you. Is this clear to you? That the mind of Jesus and the mind of all of the great teachers is in you and me right now. I need to say this again. The mind that was in Jesus and all of the great teachers is in you and me right now. We are limited only by old doubts and old fears that we might still be holding on to. And these old doubts and these old fears, they can be eliminated because they are not who you are. Although again, a little work has to be done. And might I suggest, this is the work. There are 3 old problems that we need to get rid of, and 3 solutions that will enable us to grow in awareness. First of all, the 3 old problems. You probably have old habits of thinking and feeling that no longer serve you. It's important to acknowledge what you are dealing with, these old habits, but not with shame or guilt, because all of us are holding on to something, these old behaviors. What we need to do, however, is to be able to formulate the genuine desire to grow in spirit. So the question I would ask you simply is this: do you have a genuine desire to upgrade your life? Now, no kidding aside, I mean, just honestly, do you have a genuine desire to upgrade your life? It is your life that you would be upgrading. Why would you continue to live with doubt and fear when you can do something so much better? You can if you want to, if you have the genuine desire. Aristotle quickly and clearly has said to us, you can disengage from the old stuff whenever you want to. Secondly, once you stop trying to find yourself in the everyday changing world, you have to start looking, in a sense, not for things out there to fulfill you, but rather looking at a different place. Succinctly put, there is nothing external that will fill your internal space. There is nothing out there that will fulfill your inner space. You will simply engage in another fruitless search of looking for love in all the wrong places. It's important that we simply stop being trapped by the stuff going on outside of us. Honestly, haven't we learned this lesson, that familiar lesson of Jesus, to be in the world, but not of it? And lastly, don't be deluded. Don't be deluded by the phrase, being busy is good. So many people think that if you're busy, then your life is good. This is simply not true. Being busy is often a ploy or an excuse to not examine yourself more deeply. I'll just say it again. Being busy is often a ploy or an excuse to not examine yourself more deeply. Each of us must learn the lesson of the rocking horse. A lot of action, but no progress. Isn't this what occurs in the lives of so many people? They are quite busy, but end up in the same empty place. So if the aforesaid are some of the old problems, what are the solutions? What are the solutions to releasing the old mental and emotional habits that plague us at times? I suggest the three following things. First of all, to know that you can change, as Aristotle said. I know that you are creating your reality, but only you must desire to have something a little bit more than that. You must desire, you must unequivocally know that the mind that was in Jesus is the same mind that is in you. The mind that was in Jesus is the same mind that is in you. In understanding this, you are not chasing a dream or a fantasy when you allow these words to guide you. Perhaps for the first time in your life, you may be asking yourself the truth of who you are, to really know that the mind in you is the mind of Jesus, that very same mind, for God creates with perfect fairness. Now here's the point. Have you made up your mind to follow the mind that was in Jesus and is in you? You just have to ask yourself that question as to why. Have you made up your mind to follow the mind that was in Jesus, that is in you? Have you made up your mind to disengage from fear and doubt and to achieve what you are capable of? This is the first step, to accept that the mind of the Christ, of Jesus, is your mind. One mind. The second step. Perhaps what is stopping you from taking the first step is that you don't know how to follow the mind that was in Jesus. You're not sure. Like all of us, you might need assistance, not only to get started, but also to receive continuing guidance along the way. If this describes your situation, please look for someone or a group of people whom you trust and feel that they are very genuine and very sincere. If you are still unsure of what to do, please call me personally. It's not unusual that when you want to change, you might be unsure as to how to do so. You know what you don't want, but still might be unsure of what you do want. Again, I invite you to call me if you are unsure, but are desirous of getting rid of your old stuff. Which brings me to the third solution. The third solution is the following. It concerns all of the possibilities of a much better future for you. All of the possibilities that await you than simply the old doubts and fears that you are experiencing. Do you realize all the good things that you are depriving yourself of by staying in the lower third dimensional consciousness of doubt and fear? And in the Course in Miracles language again, it need not be. Your possibilities of being happier, more creative, more trusting, are truly and clearly before you. But this is so important. Not only are they clearly before you, but they are also clearly for the people that you live with and the people you call your family and your friends. Why would you want to stick your family and friends with the old you when you can give them the richness of dealing with them from the mind that was in Jesus, which is now in you, and which you can invite them to, because God is not unfair. Why would you not do this? To show up in the mind of Jesus, and as you are able, to invite others to do the same releasing much of their lives from the old third dimension, the consciousness of doubt and fear. In conclusion, we clearly see the possibilities and the joys of getting rid of the old stuff that no longer belongs and bringing in the mind of Jesus. It's simply a matter of knowing that you can and having these wonderful possibilities that eagerly await you. But not only you, but all of us and all of our family and friends. How fun to move forward in the mind of the Christ. For herein, in the mind of the great teachers, in the mind of the great Spirit, is all of the joy that awaits us. Truly, are you not ready? Are we not ready to move in this marvelous direction? With that in mind, the mind of the Christ, let me now lead you into meditation. Let us begin first of all by, as we are normally and want to do, by simply taking that moment to focus on the breath, allowing the rhythm of your breathing to settle you, breathing in and breathing out, and just feeling that that rhythmic breath has that sense of peacefulness within it. Allow it to work its magic for you right now. Please begin. And would you notice simply how calm you become? Just very, very calm at this moment. And yet, is there not a great interest in our main teaching today? That the mind of Jesus and the mind of all of the great teachers, that mind, that spirit in you, that consciousness in you right now, can be so elevated, so much stronger and better. Would you please begin by knowing this truth? Do you not feel, honestly, do you not feel that you are so far beyond the doubts and fears that have plagued so much of perhaps your life? You know that's not you. do you not feel that there's so much more to you? I mean, honestly, don't you just feel there's so much more within you that is good and happy and wants to share? Just take a moment to feel this right now, the goodness within you. And not just the goodness within you, but the goodness that you want to be as you. This is you. This goodness, this love, and this peace. Would you just feel how these energetic words, goodness, love, and peace, are the vibration that you really are in? Feel this. Now let's be clear. Are you not happy that Jesus has stated that my mind is your mind? And the Buddha and all of the great teachers in life have said the same thing. Let us be grateful to them because they have been able to give us the strength, the knowing that what they had is in us. Let us just take a moment in gratitude for the great teachers who have helped us to see so much more clearly. Having expressed that gratitude to the teachers of the past, would you look now to the teachers of the present? Not just people who have written books like Barbara Marx Hubbard or Eckhart Tolle, but to the people around you, the people that you know that have exemplified the mind of Jesus, the mind of our Christ consciousness. Would you simply look around, see those who have modeled this way of living for you, both individually as well as within groups. See the present people who are in the mind of Christ. You can go to these people and to these groups if you need assistance. And now, the pivotal question. What about you? There is such a new way. For the mind that was in the great teachers is the mind within you. It is your consciousness. I encourage you to allow the genuineness of your feeling that this is what you want to truly become what you pursue. And then, as you sincerely pursue this awareness, may you model it for your family and friends, just as it has been modeled for you by past and present teachers. You become the model for the people around you. Why would you not just give them your best? May you continue to rise and shine, and allow the following song to be an inspiration for you.
three sides, faith abounds and love abides. The light shines bright to illumine love without, love within. I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. When you are where you need to be, within that space, I honor thee. Seen through eyes, an illusion, seen through spirit, we are one. I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee. Namaste, I honor thee.
You know that this is who we are. Thank you for the opportunity of sharing this teaching with you, and more so, may we just continue to assist each other to grow in this truth, that the mind that was in all of the great teachers is the mind within us. This is the truth. Namaste, dear ones. Namaste.